Hello everyone to Endzone, to a very hard game where we are right now. We're still in the process of fulfilling the settlers' demands this time, so 2 more beer is coming in and then we've done it. Also, I'm looking around and I'm looking at radiations. It's very important to keep this one down. This one here is already doing a good job. We're going to keep this on medium and low. I think low is doing the job already for washing away the radiation there. We have 10,000 waters, so I might actually push more defense against radiation over here, right? So another irrigation plant, we can squeeze it in here just fine. So this is affecting then industry and people living there, and also my tailors, very important. And as a result of that, the average health of citizens is going up again. I'm really happy to see that. So the need for protective clothing is then not so high as it should be, right? So otherwise we cannot fight this one anyway. Now in my pub, I still need 2 more beer. Come on, you can do this. I'm confident you can do this. We can, if we click on the building, see where those people are that are getting the resources then back and forth. So there's 2, there's 1 coming in, and that's the beer. Perfect. The mood has been fulfilled. We get at least, well, we have to pay the beer, but at least that's it. Do we get any other reward? They feel hopeful now. Alright, the next demand is in 4 days from now. At least that is something. The next epidemic though hits just in time. I don't know if this is scripted, but it's coming up then immediately, really. And we have 6 settlers available right now. They're going to build the irrigation plant. And then we have, I think we push them into food, since food is looking really good. I might also have some more technicians for tools, because tools is going down, and scrap collectors. We do need more scrap then again as well, with all the refineries working. And my 3 scrapyards, they have all amounts of goods still in their place. Perfect. There's the irrigation plant. And I can now assign another one to that, the irrigator. And this should also now lower the radiation that we have then over here, right? So step by step, my village becomes radiation free. There is still a whole district that I probably would like to make clean as well. So let's get rid of this house there. And instead, I'm going to have another irrigation plant. And just here, perfect. That is affecting those shelters then. And that would probably be the last one for quite some time, because each one of them consumes a ton of water. And water supply is fine for now. But of course, it should not drop so quickly anymore. Medics are working. Herbalists are working, yet this is still a problem there with the medication. I'm not worrying about that too much for now. Let's push the other 2 into farmers then that we still have. Let's only have 1 pub keeper. I don't think we need more than that. Researchers for knowledge points is fine. Let's have 1 more refiner, because we need the cloth to come in there. Right, so a bit of cloth at least. Alright, so it's really just the medication now and the protective clothing that is a bit bad there at the moment. Okay, this time the raiders make a demand, and I think we might fulfill it. They want either food, water, or beer, or all of it together. Let's just see. Beer is doing nothing, but water is doing something. So if we give them 3,000 water, they will back off. Just the smell of it, and that's it. Raider attack. At least for now, we have avoided it, and we are in peace. The water is dropping a bit, but only a bit, so we should be fine. It's looking a bit stable again. We are still growing quickly. Of course, I should really look out for where I assign people. The contamination that we have down here, the wells, or the water is full now. The food is almost full as well. I might now push more into the refinery then again, so that we start building up some radiation protection once more. There is some high radiation already on the lake, right? So high radiation is really spreading. Especially this fisher hut there is having this one, and they get the high radiation food then into the storeroom, right? So over there we have the storeroom. We can see that fish, especially here, is radiated. For that we do have the decontamination post though. It should decontaminate the food and the storage there especially. I'm going ahead and I'm going to need another storeroom. There we have it. Or we have the food station. I might actually put someone into the food station. The decontamination post should really do everything in its power to you know, avoid high contamination in those thingies. So let's assign those 3 people into the food station, and they will also get a bit more food than in, I think. Food stockpile 2,500. All right, that's a bit, at least a tiny bit. As we can see, there it's also working now, this irrigation plant. So also this area is now radiation free, and up here as well. This is good to see actually, right? So where we do have these patches, so the most important ones are radiation free. We have some radiation still here in the center, where I might have some space really to get rid of that. Yep, it would be possible, but we would have some overlapping. There it's possible, and with that we would get the town center free at least. The problem though is, right, we already have then 8 people now working as irrigators. They're not doing anything else. Plus, also they consume a lot of water, so I'd rather keep it like that for now, because I think in the town center no one is really working, right? So we don't need to keep it low. And health levels are fine though. So that's the best part of it. Let's assign some more people into the other things. So scrap collector, and then especially also here refiner. So more and more cloth is coming in then again. Well, and also the state of hopefulness is gone again. They have a new demand. They want a stew or cake. Cake. I mean, at least we don't need to produce. Oh, we do need to produce it then, right? So we have the cake now. So I guess the demands will go through the whole thing here at some point. The stew that we have and the cake that we have, both of them needs that. So nothing that I can really do here. We do need the kitchen first, right? We don't have the kitchen. So the kitchen does require 2 cloth. No cloth, but 2 knowledge points. And this would be the first one. Upgraded shelter also looks good because it will reduce the penalty of the attractiveness of its surrounding. We do have 5 knowledge points at the moment. So I could really go for so many things. But unfortunately, we are really forced in going quickly here into all of that. Unfortunately, we really have to do that. There's no other way around that. Research utensils here. I have no idea how we can get the last ones, by the way. So hopefully we get a quest for that or something, because the expeditions were rather, yeah, uneventful in this area. The stew. Let's go for the stew first, so that we at least can fulfill that research there immediately, and then we are going with the kitchen right after it. I will need to have another researcher there. And also another builder, because I'm building some more wells, right, to battle the droughts, so the droughts don't affect us that much, because after all, we do have a lot of people right now getting water from the lake, as we can see here. Now research is coming along splendidly. We will now be finishing the stew just, well, quite a lot ahead of time, as we can see there. And Boomy, why is the children going down so much? We are losing a lot of children right now. Health is still fine. As we can see, yep, also radiation levels are not so high in the city. I think this is, I don't know. Let's just have a look. We have finished that one, and now they still, of course, there's the stew. And now we need to produce the stew. Alright, so there's no way we can do this on time, because first I would need to research now the kitchen. But for the next time we should be well prepared then for that. For, yeah, these simple demands rather that the Prosperity DLC throws at us. The kitchen, there it is. It does need a lot of basic resources that we all have in store, so that should be fine. Now I was also thinking about perhaps, you know, improving my schooling. So we have the advanced school already. It does not take that much, so let's go ahead and upgrade the first one here to an advanced school. That should boost the productivity of those people then a bit more, and perhaps we can educate a bit more children then as well. Right, but that's of course still going to take a bit of time now here, as we don't have that many builders available. And a lot of people died again. A lot of people died again. And there is the advanced school working now, and as we can see, 30 children have a place in there, as opposed to only 10 in the basic school. So basically all the children now have access to schools. It's looking pretty cool. I think there might be an observatory up there. Really nice building there. Let's assign a few more teachers to that, so we do have a good education. And the remaining builders, well, they can work now in the water district again, so especially the well keeping and the food industry. So those two things are just important that we keep them up. Another thing is now, of course, radiation. So even though radiation levels are low in the city itself, in the surrounding area they're pretty high, and we have a lot of hunters and gatherers, you know, and they're of course being exposed all the time. So I only had like 4 tailors, now we have 8 again, and I'm going to increase that now to at least battle a bit here the protective clothing. We have enough coal and cloth, so we should be making the best possible protections there at all times. Let's also have not the neck scarves there anymore, but rather masks and radiation suits. Now the kitchen has been researched. We can now build it. It's a building that doesn't take that much resources, but a lot of space as it seems. We do have a bit of space here. I would rather though have it close to my food industry, is that right? But there is not that much space. Here is actually fine too. It's not that far away from the storeroom. And I think, do we have some protection over there? We don't. Might be a good reason then to also add some more protection than up there. So there's the kitchen coming along, and it's producing then the stew for us once it's built, of course. So we do need to assign a few of them now. Who should we take? Let's take some morticians down here and logicians, and let's all add them to builders so we can build that kitchen quickly. It's going to be tough. We still have 2.5 days for this work here to be done. Perhaps we can do this. There's the kitchen coming up, a big, beautiful building. I think we're going to need some cooks for that. So let's assign some 4, and they should produce the stew. Now, it does take me some meat and some water, right, for the stew. We do need to produce 2,300 though. Yeah, well, good luck with that. Perhaps we can actually do this, but I'm having my doubts. Kitchen is producing now, as we can see. So there is something coming along. There's at least some smoke coming out. It's a cook. There we have it now, the cook, right? So let's assign perhaps one from the miner to the cook there as well. So at least we are trying it. Well, we were really close. 1,700 before. So 500 food was left, basically. That's it. What's the penalty? Please just tell it to me. Is there a penalty? I don't think there is one. Yeah, and we need to go with the next one right away, right? So we just achieved this, and now we have to go for material factory research and probably being building then as well. The material factory, let's have a look at that real quick. There we have it, 2, and it costs a ton of resources, but it should be affordable. Let's do the material factory, mix glass and strengthened metal. We don't even have cement mining yet with the sand mine then. We'll have to focus on that, but we're focusing on survival first. These demands though are really brutal, gotta say that, and if we don't fulfill them, then we get a huge penalty or some very big confidence penalties there as well. So, I don't know. It's a lot of pressure that we need to keep up there right now, or a lot of pressure that we need to follow. Alright, people are still going up there. We are at constant population at the moment. Food and water is looking fantastic. Protection is also looking good. We're down to only 10 without protection, right? We were at 110 already. So having now more tailors again is paying off there, as we can see. And yeah, also the kitchen working is giving us some very good rich food type again, and thanks to that, well, people are having a good nutrition overall. Alright, material factory was built. With that we get the hopeful again. Luckily we don't have to build it right away. It was only research, right? We do have one more research point. Let's focus on getting a few more research points done, and then probably into the cement mining. But I would rather wait for the next demand they have, and we just focus a bit on knowledge points in the meantime. No other additional quests. We're still, by the way, here on our path there, building strength. So in that case, you're up to the beacon landmark. We do need, first of all, 400 people in our settlement. We are on good confidence levels again. We only have 13 unhappy citizens, but that's it. All the other storages are fine. Of course, we should not lack here or slack here once again. So I'm going to assign right away to where it's needed. A bit more coal we still need there for the protection, of course, as well. So coal is really important overall. Lots of children. They're getting some good education. I might be upgrading the other one here now too. Upgrading to advanced school. Oh, and the wood is down there a bit. We only have 2 foresters at the moment. Good thing. So every new child that comes now is going right into forestry, so that we do get more wood again, because after all we also need that for some things. Yep, stabilized the economy and the city there once more. We were pretty close to the brink, or to collapse in general, but I think for now it's looking better again. Medication is fine, and protection here is also now for the first time. There is some in stock again. Right, the next demand for the settlers, and this time actually it's not something new right away, but only beer, and we need to produce 240 beer. That should be an easy task. We have still, or we have 2 people there again. Let's choose the beer once more, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's an easy task this time, I should say. Perfect. I'm a bit hopeful then that these demands are not so punishing all the time. Now, we do have a few knowledge points that I can finally use. I would probably go into cement mining, right? So let's start researching on this one. And then we might go for something that makes life a bit easier then. So solar collector, for example, that really pushes then the electricity. And also the upgraded shelters here, so we can upgrade those to make living in those shelters also more durable and better. Perfect. So researching wise, it's fine. We're above 300 again. We need 400 for our next beacon landmark step, but so far so good. As long as I keep everyone in water and food, and then the rest in my protective clothing, and so I think we do have it a bit stable. And radiation is also gone around the village for now, so at least there's no pressure coming in from that side, and that leads to having more medication again available. I've also upgraded the second school here now. That's pretty cool. Look at that. There's the children outside with their protection. And yeah, well, they're learning something, hopefully. Perfect. Oh, research. It was already done, the research, so we do have some more points. And let's go for solar collectors, and let's really start pushing into electricity that we will need for my people. And I think we do need more people than in the scrap collection again. And yes, some of them are running out of it, so ooh, there's really not that much around us anymore. This might be the next problem that we face pretty soon, and that is, where do we get more scrap if the scrap around us is going out? There's still more, but it's far away, really. Holy cow. This one here still has 300, and we might push it into that village that is 400 scrap more. Do we have a tag or something like that that makes it possible so we can get more later on? Scrap catcher. This one looks promising. Catches scrap that slowly whirls around. This occurs particularly effectively during sandstorms, so scrap catcher must be located within the working area for scrapyard. Alright, so we can collect scrap that, I don't know, is flying around, or it's coming in sandstorms, it seems. Very strange. We'll just see how much scrap that really is then at the end. And we constantly need scrap, right? Scrap is something that we need for all of the other materials, and we constantly consume all of the other materials. So that's going to be really interesting. I'm going to permanently assign now 4 builders to my village, because lots of buildings are damaged, and those builders are just automatically repairing the buildings then. That's pretty useful. And let's just see, we have 4 people available again. Let's move one more in technician for the tools production. Herbs is fine now. As I said, another charcoal burner will be fine too. And yes, then we actually have people again that we can use for other things, like morticians, so that we get rid of the dead, and thus reducing the risk of dead people or diseases. And we still need to produce a bit more beer for that demand. That should be fine though. Please be fine. And another imminent radar attack. Yep. We'll just see what the demand is of those guys. We have a fully utilized watchtower here. I might build a second one for my defensive area. So here somewhere. Right. Let's build this one. And then I would need some militia that are working, filling those up. Those watchtowers. Right. Like those. And there's a trader coming in. What do we get out of this one here? Some wheat, neck scarves, points, nothing really that would need other than the cloth. Perhaps, but we have enough cloth. Nah, that seems to be pretty useless. Alright, solar collector was finished. It's looking still a bit stable here. 130 days we have, and the solar collector, as we can see, 5,000 power in comparison to the 300 of the wind turbine. Of course, solar collector costs a bit more, but not that much more. Just lots of electronics, and that's really it. The cool thing is also they are not, diminished with each solar collector next to each other, so we can have a couple of them. And yeah, let's just have them up there, because I can then have the power lines into the industrial zones, into the areas that matter most. Probably I could also have one over here by the food production buildings, right? We can boost them as well. And here the heavy industry. So there I do have a bit of space that I would like to use. So there's the first solar collector, and then let's have the other one on the other side for the power that we get out of this one there. Perfect. So 2 of them. I do have 6 builders available now. They will do this. They will do the job for us. This will deplete our electronics that we have in store quite a bit, but other than that, there shouldn't be a big problem. Also, they don't need, of course, workforce. They just produce. And what we still need is these electric power poles then, right? So with them, we can start the network of powering up everything that we have then. And of course, going right into the industrial zone will be the most important thing here. Get as many of these buildings in as possible. Also the town center and stuff, and the shelters. If they're being electrified, well, living quality increases quite a lot. So that's that. Something else that comes while we build these solar collectors is that we have 30 homeless citizens once more. So for the first time, actually, in a long time, we have more people than living space again. Now, of course, upgrading the sturdy houses here makes a lot of sense. So there is actually an upgrade button. We don't need to do it manually. Upgrade building, and I could just upgrade that. So like so, and we can upgrade those buildings here. That one, and they're being without radiation anyway, so let's just upgrade those here, and that should solve the housing problem there at least a bit. Of course, that's going to cost me quite a bit here again. Scrap, plastic, and wood. Plastic we have, scraps we're out now, and wood we have. Scraps is out because we're building these solar collectors, and by the way, there it's the first one that's finished. 5,000 we have now out of this one, and the other one is on the other side that is being finished just as we speak. There it is, the next one, and now we can, well, we have 10,000 electricity available, by the way. That is so much. I think we can power quite a lot of thingies now in my settlement. But let's just go ahead. It's a bit complicated building them. We can build them on the road, and I think it is fine building them on the road. And we do need to look out where the wire is, right, so that we can get it into our network. So I think here we do have the next one, and then the next one here. Right, and then we would have one here, and that would power the whole center, and then probably one here for the shelters. I think that might work out. And the same goes with the other one down here, so that's that one, and then we're having one here by the wells, so they can also be boosted, of course. There we already have one, and then I need one here to connect those. And then we actually have the whole industrial area already being powered then. And since we have the knowledge points, I would also like to have the upgraded shelter now, this one here. Upgraded shelter provides many settlers with living space where they do not give birth to offspring. Depending on the configuration setting, all settlers are only old and infertile move in. The upgraded shelter provides more space for settlers, and when connected to power grid, boosts the confidence of its inhabitants. It cost me 300 scrap. We do have more scrap again now. Also, homelessness is going down because, yep, we're upgrading more and more of these here. By the way, that is only tier 2 buildings. There's still also the tier 3 buildings that we will need, but that is something for later. We need to research that first. Stay tuned.